This is one of 3 videos focusing on non-mathematical ways to improve the marks you get in your GCSE maths exam papers. I believe that there is a lot of scope to boost your marks and therefore grades without even touching the maths. Obviously, working to improve your maths in addition to absorbing these methods is a very good plan too. This video talks about how to manage maths anxiety and use mental strategies in order to perform better in your maths exam. My other 2 videos in this set will concentrate on how to revise for maths and how to strategically approach a maths exam. So, on the subject of how to manage maths anxiety and use mental strategies in order to perform better, there are probably 2 aspects to this side of things. One is dealing with feeling low about doing maths and needing motivation to carry on, and the other is dealing with nerves during the exams. A big thing you can do to help with feeling low about maths and with anything in life is to make a point of noticing your successes. I'll tell you a story about something I've been trying to and struggling to improve with, and that's my flexibility. So I, to be honest, half-heartedly attempt to stretch. And again, to be honest, and I haven't really got much hope of success for some reason. One day, I just ever so slightly touched my toes. I got this rush of possibility and encouragement. I all of a sudden naturally wanted to make more effort and try harder to achieve the goal. It all of a sudden became possible. So looking out for these situations in your maths and maybe trying to generate them so that you can then notice successes and push yourself into a positive spiral. Maths is good at demoralising people because the questions often lead to a situation where you're right or wrong. Method marks can create grey areas at least, but generally maths can be quite brutal and leave you feeling a bit battered. And so it's counterintuitive to let yourself continue to be in a negative situation. So if you feel like you want to shy away from maths because it hasn't treated you very well, then I would say that that's quite a normal thought. Unfortunately, if you want to try and get this grade 4, because it's going to be useful in your life, then overriding the instinct to avoid maths is necessary. Noticing successes is your way forward with this. When feelings are out there and free, they have less negative power over you. A way to really scale this up for yourself if you're feeling low about maths is to do a bit of compassionate writing. And so that would go like this. You sit there with your piece of paper or computer and write a note to a friend explaining in full force, no holds barred, all the negative feelings that you are having about maths, and write how terrible it makes you feel and really let rip. You don't need to send it to your friend unless you really want to, but if you then read your note through as if you have received it from someone you really care about, and then write a reply to the note, this reply then becomes a message to yourself, and that could make you feel better. Obviously, if you want to, you can do this by telling a person that you trust about how you feel about your maths situation. You tell them face to face, and then you could benefit from hearing their understanding response. This person could be anyone, maybe a fellow student who's in the same situation. Who better to understand? We could call this person your maths coach. You could be honest with them about your thoughts, progress and feelings to do with maths, and they could help you spot your successes and urge you to celebrate them. They could help motivate you through bad patches and help you keep on track. You could let this person know when you need support and what sort of support works for you. If you feel like you need professional help, I really hope you'd get that for yourself. So we tend to move towards and become what's on our mind. I'm sure you've been in the situation where you've had an idea of an image you'd like to try out, or maybe a new hairstyle or new type of clothes, and then with that in your mind you seem to spot lots of examples of these all over the place. If our minds are telling us, similarly, that we can't do something, then we'll look and notice examples of that being true, and so it will be a self-fulfilling prophecy. So it's very important to be aware of self-talk in your maths. Try really hard to avoid negative self-talk, as that keeps you in a bad place. Try and swap negative talk for thoughts of things that you can do and positive things about yourself in your maths, as you will then notice even more positive things, and that will spur you on. So nerves are sometimes a problem and stop you doing as well as you'd like to. When nerves take hold, they paralyse your mind and stop you thinking. I relatively recently failed a few piano grade exams because of very bad nerves. I could barely say the alphabet with my nerves in full force, and I certainly couldn't play. My hands were shaking that much I couldn't press the keys. But during that time, I tried a few techniques to help me keep the nerves at bay, because I knew that I could play my pieces when I wasn't in the exam, and I felt that I deserved to pass. During the days before my piano exams, I visualised myself confidently walking into the exam room, feeling happy and looking forward to showing what I could do. And then I visualised myself playing my pieces with a smile on my face and feeling proud of how I was playing them. Another thing I tried to do was winner's poses in the waiting room before the exam. So these are physical actions that people do when they are feeling triumphant, i.e. when they've run a race or got great news. So that would go something like holding your hands up in the air with your head up, smiling. The thinking is that these physical poses could lead to the feelings of confidence and triumph, and then they would outweigh the nerves. In the end, I managed to stagger through 3 piano exams without nerves bringing me down. So even though I don't know which techniques helped me, or even if they did help, it's possible that they helped, and it's possible they might help you too. So they might be worth a try. I think that's everything on the subject of maths anxiety and how to combat it. One more thing to say. Please remember that the past doesn't define you. You can decide to change ways in which you do things now in order to get different results in the future. You can fuel these changes by your feelings. You can take charge of what's going on with your maths learning by understanding your own maths big picture, and you can watch your own back and leave nothing to chance. I've seen lots of students go on to get that grade 4 in maths, and more often than not they've switched attitude in the last months or weeks before the exam to one of I'm in charge, I'm just going to get on with it and do what I need to pass, and they've had an air of new focus and independence. I really hope you get into that zone too and then go on to get your 4. Thank you for listening.